Welcome back to my channel, Frugal John. Today we're going to be doing a common problem with the Ford, which is the coolant leak when a vehicle's cold. From the they have O-rings inside the two up top, the top hose, and then one down the bottom. It's hard to find. A lot of times when you drive and you don't see a coolant leak, and when you park, it drains a bit, but not enough to really see it, but over time you lose a lot of coolant. Okay, in order to do this job, this has to come off, and then the hoses down here, this has to come out. And the bottom one, I should be able to get from the bottom. Okay, I'm gonna start taking this off. I gotta take this hose off. Just, there's a little clip right here. You push that down, and you pull that out. This one here, I'm going to take it off here. Okay, just pull that one out there. There was no hook on it. This one has a clamp on it. And just undo this here. And undo this one down here. And take that out of the way. Okay, so the hose, the O-rings I got to change. I don't know if you can see there.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to start here. So the two O-rings up top I have to replace. Is one right here and another one in here. There's a little clamp. I'll show you later. Okay, that one's out. Let's see if we can get the other one out. In order to get this O-ring off here, I'm going to have to take this off of here, but in order to bring it up, this is going to hit the throttle body. So, throttle body has to come off. I got no choice. Huh? Yeah, what I'm doing now is just make sure they're all the same size. And so far those three are the same size. We'll just check this one. I'm using that light to see what I'm working on.
Strong, baby. Oh. What's that?
Throttle body. Okay, so I'll get a rag and I'll shove in there so nothing gets lodged in his into. Yeah, and the gasket on there is like a silicone gasket, so that can be reused. It's like a great big silicone O-ring mixed in with a gasket, so I'll just clean the outside of that up and reuse it. That's not too dirty either. And like I say, I'm not stretching the wire. The wire is fine sitting like that. I could disconnect it, but there's no need. Watch I don't hit my mic. Okay. Can you see the clamp? There's a little clip here and you just pull this down. And that will release it from there, but in order to get it out, to get the O-ring changed, I'm going to have to pull this off. There's not enough room. In order to get this Y pipe out, You got to lift it up this way and at the same time slide it out. And to get it back in, it's going to be a bear, I can tell. Now, these, in order to get these on, let me get a screwdriver. There's two ways. One, you can grab it from the side here. If you can't get to the bottom, you pry it down, or you can grab it from the back here and lift it up. And what it does, it just, as it closes, puts the two metal things and holds it in place, and the O-ring that's just inside here stops it from leaking. Okay, anyway, so I'm going to replace the O-rings in this over the bench on this side, and this side here I'll do obviously here because it's on a different one. Okay, so we're going to the bench. Okay, let's get the O-ring out of here and see what size it is. Okay, just using a O-ring pin pick. You get see in there. Get in there. And the O-ring comes out. Clean it up, make sure nothing's in there to go under the O-ring to damage it or make it leak. Okay, let's see if we can get the right size. Okay, I don't know if you can see that. Okay, that's a new one. These are two new ones. So, same size, a new one here, but if you take a look at the old one, on the inside, it's all flattened out. Either made that way, but it shouldn't be. It maybe just wore out. Anyway, that's what happens to them. You end up leaking. So this one here gets put in. Before I put it in, I'm just going to get some silicone grease to put on it. And it goes in behind this. And I'll put silicone on the other end too before I put it in. So I just got a little extra silicone on the O-ring and on the end of this so it slides in nice. Just going to fill all in here so it doesn't catch any edges, and I'll clean that. So I can actually put this piece back on because the other one's on a hose. So I'll do the other O-ring. I have to do that one on the vehicle. I got to clean this where the O-ring rides. I don't want no dirt or anything in there to damage the O-ring as I put it in, because then it would leak. on here. I need to clean that up too. So we'll get some silicone grease on the outside of this. Okay, that's good. Now it's going to be a bear to get in. So essentially, it's got to come in and it's got to be pried open, and then it's got to go in without. Okay, the fun part. So, then get on the frame rail. You watch how you grab it, because I just knocked the steel in. The retaining clip in. I gotta pull back out. Make sure the retaining clip is out when you're doing this job. But by moving it around, sometimes you knock it in. Okay, get that out. Flip up. Okay. No, that didn't catch. It should have caught. What's going on?
Talk.
Okay, this time it caught. Yeah. First time I wasn't quite in far enough. Make sure you pull it back up. Okay, now we're in.
It's
Okay.
good.
Yeah, that's good.
You put it in.
Now you put the other clamp in. Get this back in place. Well, actually, if the other one was made like this, it would have never leaked. Hard or not, these are really good.
What if you broke that one?
I'll put a hose clamp. But a hose clamp is not as good as these.
That one is original.
I'll explain in a second why manufacturers, even though these are a pain in the backside to put in, I'll explain the purpose of them and why they went with this style. Okay, there we go. Yeah, do you see this really good? Okay, come in front and look. I'm just going to point to this. You got it?
Uh-huh.
The reason why manufacturers switched over to these instead of just a regular hose clamp, it wasn't to save money. It was when an engine gets hot, everything expands. And because this is a spring, because this is spring steel, it also expands. And then when an engine gets cold in winter, it contracts, it gets smaller. Well, this also gets smaller with it. So therefore, it maintains a seal as opposed to a hose clamp where you got to really tighten it down and damage the hose in order for it to seal in the winter. Anyway, that's why they went with these. Even though they're a pain to use, much better than a hose clamp. Quiet for a second. Okay, the parts I bought, the overhang kit I bought for this vehicle. You can see the name right here and the part number. It's made in the USA.
Wait.